Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking a lot that has to do with Manchester United, and of course, if you've been around on TikTok much more these days, you must have seen something that has to do with our recent issues with Manchester United. And today, look, these players they feel like they've been freed from the devil himself, and of course, I'm talking about Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho, and of course the one we least expected, but we knew it was going to happen eventually, is Malaysia. Now, how these players they've come to this, they've just basically told Manchester United that they're not going to be coming back for training for these couple of weeks that we're coming into preseason, and which is obviously for some of us who are like Manchester supporters, it's good news because for at last we don't have to deal with these guys. At last we can they just don't want to play, so there's nothing we can do about it. But let's jump in straight into each individual player and what they've contributed to Manchester United as a player. As they had an impact, and what have they done? So obviously we're going to start with Malaysia. I'll tell you, Malaysia has contributed absolutely nothing since we purchased him. Since he came from Feyenoord, he has done absolutely nothing. I think he only played a handful of games, probably under 10 since we purchased him. He's been out for, I would say for now, almost actually over a year. He's absolutely done nothing. We've been paying him for nothing, for sitting at home. He went for knee surgeries. He has been an absolute waste of our money. While we even forgot that we still have even had Malaysia, we went and bought other defenders and we forgot about him. So look, maybe that is a good riddance. We can get rid of him. Another player that's not coming back is Anthony, but in his situation is understandable. And Anthony wants to play. Anthony, his situation is different because Anthony is trying to fight his way back into the Brazilian national team. As right now he is not in it because he's not playing. He feels he needs to be back there, and he's willing for him. He's willing to take a pay cut. He went to Betis on loan. He did exceptional there, good linking up with other players. The problem is Betis did not want to buy him, so I think it was a situation of just, even after the pay cuts and whatever that he was willing to take, I do not think Betis was even still willing to pay after that pay cut, because it still is a lot. We bought him for £90 million. He was as useless could be in Manchester United. We talk about being useless, and this guy was one of the most useless players. He was not a bad player, but he's just useless. Then another player we have that's going is Rashford. Rashford, obviously, Rashford came from the youth ranks. Rashford was good. We saw what he did when he was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We saw what he did when he was under Moyes. We even carried us on the first season that Eric Ten Hag came. Carried us for like the entire season, scored almost over, I think, if not over 30 goals. Just the other seasons that he started playing, it was a lot of inconsistency, a lot of things that took place, and I think obviously like there was a mental toll for him. Is he a good player? Yeah, he is a good player. Is it at that level where we say exceptional? He can be. We know he can be exceptional. It's just that it has not been matching up. The inconsistencies, the lack of partying, all that. And he's also linked, he was linked to Barcelona at some point. Did I feel that Barcelona needs the lack of Rashford? No, because Rashford cannot fit in Barcelona. Rashford cannot insert himself into a Barcelona squad. When you go and you look at Barcelona right now, do you think Barcelona needs someone with the mentality of Marcus Rashford? As we took him to Aston Villa, he played, but Aston Villa did still same issue with Anthony, same issue with other players. They are not willing to pay the wages. They are too much. They are crazy. We cannot pay those amount of wages for a player who performs on occasional days and is super subpar. So look, I only feel on all the players I'm mentioning, I only feel sorry for Marcus Rashford because I feel that this guy, with the right type of managing him, and the right motivation, he can come back and be a very good player. It's just that things are not working out, so he decides he wants to leave. And look, if you don't want to play for us, That's good. We can, move on. The last one that I want to speak, no, it's actually not even the last one. Garnacho, this one hit me like a ton of bricks because for entire season we thought, yeah, we had something, and then there was a lot of times we knew this guy is trash. Aside from him being young, which is good, 20 years old, 2021, he's still trying to, find his form. There's a lot of things that can come up in the next couple of years. He's not in his prime yet, but his attitude sucks. This dude wearing Aston Villa top to support Rashford. I understand solidarity whatsoever, but I think in the grand scheme of things, this is a lack of maturity and stupidity. When you look at, you have to realize when we wanted to buy players like Mbuemo and Brentford is demanding 60 million pounds. We wanted to buy Anthony Lang. Newcastle wants to buy Anthony Elanga, 55 million pound tag on him. We want to sell Garnacho, 60 million pounds. When you compare all three players together, Anthony Elanga was the best player for the entire season for Nottingham Forest. Mbuemo, best player for Brentford the entire season. Garnacho, absolutely nothing. There is nothing we can put on him that's positive, that can show up on his CV, that you can say, okay, this is what you're giving you, this is what you're gonna get, this is this and that. There is absolutely nothing. It's a useless type of deal. No one wants to buy him. No one wants to pay 60 million. No one, especially for a player who comes with attitude problems. No one wants to get that, and we have to accept it that we're gonna see. There's another player, young, and no one is looking at the age. No one is looking at what he can become later on. Everyone is looking at attitude. Is he worth it? Can he fit into the team? Is he gonna be another problem for another manager? So that's out the window. But the last one, this one is a special one. Jadon Sancho. This dude, I think when we purchased, it was a panic buy because I think there was a lot of red flags we saw, but we chose to ignore. And this has become one of Manchester United's part. It has become one of our identities. It's in our DNA. We end up doing panic buys on players we don't care about, that do not fit into the club. 75 million pounds we spent on Sancho. We knew already that this dude was going to be a world-class troublemaker. Remember, he played for Man City. Pep got rid of him to Borussia Dortmund. And then obviously Manchester United did the panic buy. We purchased him, we brought him to Manchester United. For all the seasons we purchased him and the big contract we gave him, he has done absolutely nothing. Tenor came and he realized, okay, maybe I need to send you to the Netherlands so you can get your own personal type of training and your own rehab. So when you come back, you'll be a better version of yourself. What did he do when he went to Netherlands? Did nothing, but he did training. He came back, he blasted Ten Hag on social media just because Ten Hag made a comment. He blasted him. I feel like Sancho was also a big part of the reason why Ten Hag was sacked. He played a big part in it, along with Rashford too. We then sent him back to Dortmund on loan. Dortmund didn't do much, played in Champions League, flopped as anyone could have flopped. Dortmund did not want to buy him. They sent him back to us. Now we're stuck with him again. We sent him again to another loan, to Chelsea. Chelsea played him. Sancho contributed absolutely nothing. And think about it. Chelsea had a lot of useless players, aside from Cole Palmer. And Jadon Sancho was in addition to being useless in a team that already had players that were useless. And he did absolutely nothing. Now, Chelsea could have kept him, but they couldn't agree on the wages because it's just too much. You can't pay £250,000 per week on a player who is useless. And they decided, okay, cool, we'd rather give you back Sancho with £5 million, so we won't have to buy him for £25 million because that would have been a very big mistake. Now we're stuck with the dude. Now he doesn't want to play. We're stuck with him for another season. We still have to pay his wages. Juventus was in the talks to get Sancho. Now they're like, no, we're out. We can't pay. We don't want to be stuck with this problem because they can already see this dude is going to be very bad for the team's mentality because Juventus is filled with a lot of youngsters. Even to a point where Mourinho's like, nah, we don't want him. And Mourinho was at some point was supporting Sancho. So and it's like, nah, I don't. So United, we stuck with a big issue. We got 5 players who want nothing to do with our team. 5 players who don't want to play for us. But the problem with these 5 players is that they are all useless. We won't feel any pain if they disappear from us. In fact, we'll be happy if they leave. This is the situation we're stuck in. But